This is Mosul, where Iraqi troops are now fighting house to house, trying to defeat ISIS, push them out. Listen to these words. They are the raw notes sent to us from our senior international correspondent, Aروى. She was right in the middle of all of this violence and this chaotic gun battle. Again, these are her words. Let me read them for you. Quote, a massive flash of orange, a massive explosion just when we were stopped. My ears are ringing. The door to the MRAP couldn't come up fast enough. Everyone coughing from the dust and the dirt kicked up. Out the back window, I saw a family running with kids. It was a suicide car bomber, they said. I can't stop thinking about that family and all of the others. Let's go live to Aروى. Those were her words. She is now safe in the city of Erbil, Iraq, just about 55 miles away from where this all happened.
Our photographer, cameraman Brislin, and I were with this unit of Iraqi counterterrorism forces, and what happened was ISIS ambushed them in a very complex attack on one of these narrow streets that they were going down, and they managed to split the convoy in two. I have to say that this is the most harrowing experience that I personally have ever been through, despite having covered war zones for more than a decade. What happened was, once they managed to split the convoy in two, initially with gunfire, rocket-propelled grenades, they then began to systematically take out the convoy's vehicles, Humvees and MRAPs, starting on both ends and moving towards those that were in the middle, forcing the soldiers and eventually us out of our vehicles onto the streets and into the buildings, basically putting the troops in more vulnerable positions, because then the ISIS fighters were moving in and attacking the buildings that the troops were sheltering in. At the end of a very long 24 hours, the bottom line is that we were under siege with around 22 wounded soldiers, 6 who were not wounded. It got so bad at one point in the morning, Poppy, and this is despite the fact that the unit was repeatedly calling in for backup. None came, that they were saying that they were running out of ammunition. And this is how close the ISIS fighters were. They were in the building right behind where all of us had spent the night, along with an Iraqi family. An airstrike took out the building, the house right behind us. Later we found out that 8 ISIS fighters were there. At one point there were ISIS fighters on the rooftop right next door throwing grenades into the courtyard that wounded even more of the soldiers that we were with. They were screaming for anyone who could walk, even people who were wounded in one arm, carrying their weapons in the other arm, to come up to the roof and defend this position. The reason why backup couldn't arrive, well, based on what we were told, the units that were supposed to be coming as reinforcements also got bogged down because of clashes that they were undergoing with ISIS. And this really just illustrates the challenges that the Iraqis are going to be facing as they try to clear Iraq's second largest city.